California Royal, and this is the Wilby High School English Minute, sponsored by the Margaret M. Generali Foundation. This week's English Minute is actually 30 minutes. We are about halfway through the novel Ready Player One, and a panel of Mr. Pannoni's students volunteered to discuss what they thought of the novel so far. We asked the panel specific questions. Here's how that went.
What are you guys' favorite character and why?
I think Ogden would be my favorite because he's a bona fide and he just destroys everything whenever he gets mad, like instantly.
I feel like my favorite has to be Artemis because, how can I say it, like she looks so tough basically, and like she wants to be like one of the Gunters, like even though like she is the only female Gunter, she wants to be the best, but she has to keep herself in order to be able to do that. Like she doesn't want to show love or empathy or feelings that will destroy her career as a Gunter.
I would say Nolan Sorrento, because I feel like he leads the story on and he actually makes Wade the way he is and why he wants to do the competition.
But like the whole situation, I mean, I get it, like Nolan Sorrento, you know, he made who Wade is now, and he made him change his perspective, but
Yeah, because in the beginning of the book, Wade was very childish when he encountering situations that were more complex, and now that the book is further along, he knows Sorrento can potentially kill him and everything that he likes. So I think that's developed his character more.
yeah, develops his maturity.
I will agree with you on that. He does develop his own maturity, but I feel like Nolan does kind of lead the story on forward and make it so.
The driving force.
Yeah, you know, he just
It
drives
makes the story have an edge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind of something that you can be like.
It's like the
oh,
rising action before
wow.
the climax.
agreed.
Yeah, there we go.
My favorite character would be Artemis, because even though she knows that Wade likes him, like she doesn't let that get in the way of what she has to do and what she wants, which is getting the egg.
I'm gonna change mine. Mine is Halliday. Halliday is my favorite because he not only changed how people socialize inside the world, but he also changed how people act on the internet and on, like, in person, because they're not as social anymore, which is a bad thing. But I think he feel like if they're online, they are more social, because they can talk more and they're not like afraid, like, oh.
Yeah, like how Wade
Yeah, they're like,
how
they're
Wade
not,
in person, he's shy.
yeah, they're not shy at all, you know, because they're online. They're not. Yeah, you know, it's just, I feel like
He brings out people's personalities.
Yeah, he changed everything.
Because nobody really knows who you are, so it's like,
Yeah.
You could be whatever you want.
Yeah.
Exactly. I would have to say mine would have to be H, because he was with Parzival for the long run, and he's been his friend forever. When I have no one else in the real world, and in the Oasis, no one was his real friend.
And he always helped Wade out, like gave him money for rides, and he never
Exactly.
complained about it.
And offered
Always
to take him
offered,
places, give him food, vouchers, offered him a place to sleep when he needed it. So I would say H would be my favorite.
as far as we have for information, H is not a 300-pound guy named Chuck that lives with his mother.
Yes. He is?
That's
No,
amazing.
he said that because they never met, so they wouldn't know what each
No,
other
Wade
looked
said that to
or if it's
Artemis.
a boy or if it's a girl or a transgender or whatever it is. Odin Morrow, he hasn't met Wade, but he is already a mentor to him. How is Morrow indirectly helping Wade?
Well, Morrow's personality is that of a businessman because he ran G&G, I believe it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what the company.
Gregor's Games.
Yeah, GG. I just blanked.
Well,
I just blanked.
oh, so basically how Odin is his mentor and how does he help Wade?
So he helps Wade through like the interview when they first found out that the 5 people, the high 5, had found the key and opened the first gate. He told Wade through the interview to be careful and to stay discreet, because if not, IOI will find him and will be able to try and get things out of him.
Not only IY, but like people will like harass him and stuff like that.
He does
You
have
just took my answer right out of my mouth.
Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I have nothing to say.
later in the chapters, he does encounter paparazzi and obsessed fans trying to get answers out of him. So I do think that he should be careful, especially considering that he has a cult following now, practically.
He has to watch out for Nolan.
And who knows, maybe those people are working for Nolan, trying to get him, trying to
Yeah,
find out
because
where he's at.
Nolan did try to
Just
have
kill him.
Wade work for him. Just
Oh, yeah,
for the
yeah,
key, yeah. So you never know that he could have met with some other people and basically gave them the same deal as he did with Wade, and they could have taken it. So yeah, he just has to be careful about his surroundings and people that he shares information with.
I mean, Nolan is pretty pissed at him because he did try and like get him out of his job and take it from him.
The way he was sounding so
Cocky.
so grown, you know, yeah, cocky but grown. you know?
Confidence.
His confidence was too much for him to handle at the moment. for
Yeah.
him. He overthought it in his own mind, basically. How the situation was gonna play out.
Okay. What do you guys like or dislike about the story?
I just like the predictability. A lot of it has become predictable with like just based off of real world events. A lot of things are predictable throughout the book, but the only real driving element in it is a surprise factor I find from the unpredictability of the plethora of media that the book relies on, like certain obscure video game titles or books from the 70s. That's the only real like driving force I think I see that's behind the book, because not everyone knows about that. They couldn't be like, oh, you're gonna play Galaga next, because it's obscure. You can't predict that.
It's the 80s.
80s.
But I understand what you mean. I don't know. I mean, I like reading, so anything that I read I like. But I like how real it just seems. You know what I mean? Like he's going through real life problems. Like his stacks got blown up, and even though like it was sad, but like, and you know he had empathy for his neighbor, but he just felt so disconnected after that, especially. And it's just like all these emotions, and that's what I.
Rip Miss Gilmore.
Yeah. It's just more real.
I will say that as a video game lover myself, I love this story because it brings what I already love. It brings video games into not only what you would seem as to be the real life world at some point, but Wade loves games himself, so he takes his time and he strives, would that be? He strives for getting that golden egg just so he can
Have a better life
yeah,
for
like
himself.
have a better life on the the outside world, because there is still a world out there. And
He
Yeah,
thrives on
yeah.
He thrives on the information he learns to be able
he
to
he
have.
thrives on the information. That way he can kind of get the key.
Like when he
Get-
noticed the
get-
little notches in the letter,
Yeah,
and he noticed how to get to the first key.
and I think that he would probably benefit more with the money that he would get from.
I don't really think he exactly would benefit from it, but the whole reason why he's looking for the egg is because his dream of he wants to be an independent person and go build his whole space station with a bunch of scientists and go off somewhere else in the universe trying to find another Earth. So I don't really see that as a viable option. Artemis, her I'm going off on a tangent. What's the next question?
Yeah, she. Don't. You've lost us.
Yeah,
That's all the questions.
that's all the questions.
That's all the questions.
Well, any final discussion that we want to have?
Which would you prefer? Artemis's goal of after she gets the egg, which is to try and revitalize the or Wade's option, where it's like the single hope for humanity, like taking all the money and scientists and like all that and going off to try and find another planet.
Because that's a very hard decision right there. Because I understand how she wants to revive, like, you know, the world that we have now, and try and help with hunger and dehydration and everything that's happening, you know, climate, but there has to be
A learning
a
surprise.
learning, because like she has to learn like this world has already been abused as it is, and we can't make it any better for ourselves. Like even us breathing this air is destroying the planet.
I do agree. Like, I believe overpopulation was a problem on this Earth in 2044. But I do think that she could be able to lead and organize a different type of government, I guess.
What do you guys dislike or like about the story? I like that it has a lot of twists and turns. Like one minute everything could be good, and then the next minute it's just like chaos.
I dislike a part of the story because the characters are just, they're so into this competition, this act just to kind of get to the golden egg before IOI does. And they're not really kind of watching out for what could happen in the real world behind their heads and behind their backs. And so they're kind of like, yeah, let's go in the Oasis and we'll just kind of like chill there and we'll kind of do the contest. But they don't know what's going on in the real world.
So like they're avoiding the real world problems is what you're saying.
Yeah, because they spend hours on one day. Just
Like how when Wade would just go to the band whenever he wanted to get away from stuff or
yeah,
avoid
get
it.
away from his aunt. Yeah.
I would say I have to dislike all the references it makes in it because it's kind of old timey for me. I like things more current. So there's not a lot of action in it right now. So I like things with more action and
It
like
probably would get better.
kabooms.
It probably
Yeah.
would get a lot better.
So but right now I'm disliking the references and not enough action.
Well, what I dislike is I don't like Nolan Sorrento at all because like he's so evil. He doesn't care about no one but himself.
True.
He doesn't even care about all the people that he works with. He just cares about money and power. Like he's already rich and then he wants to be even way more rich and not help anybody.
Yeah, he's like the mastermind.
Yeah, he's
of it.
selfish. Yeah. I can see where you're coming
Yeah.
from. Yeah, he's a little bit selfish about wanting the egg and not caring about, even if he kills people in the real world, he doesn't care. He wants the egg and that's what he wants. That's it.
Like he didn't even know
He wants to
who Wade's
control
aunt
the
was or any of the people that were there and just
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
killed them just because Wade
Mhm.
didn't want to
take
give up
his
what he
deal.
had.
Yeah,
the
he didn't want
knowledge.
to take the deal, so he killed everybody in that entire staff.
Mhm.
Okay.
What is the state of the world in this story? Can the real world become this?
Almost definitely. There's many different ways the world can turn out. Just depends on who takes the reins of it. In a way.
Yeah, like
Holiday.
Halliday, he basically like ruled the world with this Oasis game. Like he was like the president of all the countries, like the king. And so with that happening in our real world, it would be like war basically.
It's capitalism at its finest because
And how the stacks are, you know?
he became a self-made billionaire just from video games. He took the reins in that field and stayed on top of it. And his business partner, Ogan, he was extremely intelligent with business. It said, I believe, in the book. So that I believe played a part in his uprising. I think.
Yeah, and I feel like also with the overpopulation, which is what led to the stacks, is what really will happen. We will have overpopulation, there won't be enough food for everybody or water. And like, I feel like it will happen, but not in our lifetime.
It was innovation driven by necessity. The overpopulated world needed teachers and stuff, and so that the game put a lot of stress on the infrastructure of the world, I think. Relieved a lot
I
of
think
stress.
that there is a huge possibility that it could happen in the world, yes, but I don't believe, in our lifetime, like you said. Because look where we are now. Technology is basically taking over
It is
90% of our lives already, so I don't see that wouldn't be true if one person did make this kind of virtual world that everybody kind of wanted to just be in and not really want to have a social life on the outside and the inside world,
I
which
mean-
makes the world what it is now.
I mean, look, they go to online schooling in the Oasis game. I mean, schooling would be so much different, like if this ever would have happened, obviously. But we're here. We go to school for 7.5 hours a day. We sit here. We go through our classes. But that's different. Like you're basically having a 30-minute discussion in class. And, I don't know. I mean, I get it. Maybe online classing is the thing that makes them binge in more because it's the internet. It makes them focus more. But see, that's the thing. They're able to sleep during class and do other things.
Very true.
Yeah. They can go into chats and not even
Pay attention.
not pay attention. The teacher doesn't even know.
Like what
if
happened?
they
Like
can go.
you can literally be online and active in the classroom, but you could be in like in a whole different room, just like not caring.
Yeah, they did do that in the book. So yeah.
What do you mean, like a whole different room?
Like, say you're supposed to be in class, right? In the Oasis game, like you basically just
Go to a chat room.
no, like really, literally, like go to the other room, like
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
basically
What, in
like
their
skip,
house?
yeah, like just skip
Little
through the
their own house.
lesson. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, because while they're in school, they can't go on anything else. They
Yes,
make
just
you.
take your
I'm
Yeah,
sorry
yeah,
for the
they-
interruption.
exactly.
I
They
need
make you wanna
Jason
stay there,
Bissett
you know, in
and
chat rooms or
Malia
anything.
Parker to the
Yeah,
guidance
do that.
office, please. Jason Bissett and Malia Parker to the guidance office, please.
Honestly, I think that this can happen in the real world because right now they're using all the resources that we have, and soon it's gonna run out because fossil fuels are non-renewable, and they use enough fossil fuels in 1 year for 1,000,000 years. So every year that they do that, we're not gonna have none, and that's what runs 90% of the world. So if
yeah,
it runs out,
I
they're
understand
gonna
what you're
have to
saying.
find like other things for us to have, water and energy and lights and all that stuff.
Like I was watching a video on the ice age, and there's actually like the fossil fuels under all that built up ice is the gases is what's basically melting it, and like the animals, you know, over there, you know, they need that, and like I understand.
No, so like global warming is increasing the temperature, releasing methane, and it's a vicious cycle, I guess.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's close to, they said it could happen in the next 10 years or so.
I read this article online, and it said that the stacks inside the book and the movie, they're made like that because they use less resources and they take less power.
It's like
It's
living in a
using
building.
Using pre-existing infrastructure.
Yeah, you know, it's not using as much power as somebody would usually use in their day-to-day life. So it's basically their way of making, how would I say, like,
They're preserving energy.
yeah, they're preserving the energy and making it so that you don't use that much. Yeah.
A lot of the like government systems throughout history have had their weaknesses and their strengths. Like communism, that takes a while to set up, but like in the beginning, like infancy stage of the government, it's really hard because corruption is like there's no like checks and balances like how there is in democracy. But like in our current stage of system of democracy, there's not certain checks and balances. Well,
I mean, I understand what you're meaning. For me, if she was able to like lead her own government, she'll be able to change a lot of things because she will learn from history what not to do and what to do. And corruption is out there, you know, with these political.
it's human nature.
It is. But maybe with the democracy with checks and balances, they'll be able to pinpoint what is right and wrong.
How do you guys feel about the high five not working together?
I feel like they would have a lot of information to share between each other. Like they don't have to work together, but sharing their information that they have on the egg, and like not tell each other, oh yeah, this is what. No, it's more like helping them to figure it out.
Like how
Wade did with Artemis.
no, it wasn't what Wade did with Artemis, like little breadcrumbs.
Change the other side.
Instead of telling each other exactly how it happened, like give them like little tips. Cause later in the story, Arc H, whatever his name is, gives a little hint to Wade, and he says this is Steven now because if you remember.
When he was trying to find the tumor for
when H was trying to find the Tomb of Horrors, he had an unfair advantage over everyone else because he knew Wade couldn't get off of Ludus, so the Tomb of Horrors must have been on Ludus somewhere. And so Wade said I sort of helped you in a way, so that you owe me one. And so now later in the story he repays him in a way, I guess. I think that could be a running theme.
Yeah, like they don't really have to work together. Just
Leave breadcrumbs.
compromise and because like the high five are like probably the most responsible ones that have gotten to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than like the IOI.
They're individuals and have their own like goals in mind. I still don't know what Dato and Shoto's goals are, like what their dreams
They
are.
work together. They're brothers.
Well, yeah, they're brothers, but I don't.
Like
Wade has his dream of going off into space somewhere. Artemis has hers of fixing Earth. What do you think Dato and Shoto's would be?
What
what about
H?
Daito.
Oh, and Ache too. What do you think theirs would be?
yeah, that's a very good
You think we're gonna learn about it?
prediction.
Well, I feel that if they don't work together, yeah, it would be great to. I feel like they should at some point during the book, because I think that it'd be kind of a twist in the book if they did start working together.
Like so they sort of picked sides. Like Artemis revealed that she like her plan for the world, and like Ache H allied up with Artemis. That would actually be really cool because Wade would get really jealous, and that'd be
Oh,
a really
yeah, that
big
would-
story element right there.
Yeah, Wade is getting a little close with Artemis, so.
Well, Wade has been feeling a lot of affectionate feelings for her.
But that does not necessarily mean she's gonna return them.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, yes.
I'm not gonna ruin that part for you.
If this happened, that
Please
she
don't, because I
wasn't
feel like
I'm
you
not.
did read on to the story
I
a little
read
bit
to-
further than everybody else
Yeah.
on this panel. So
Yeah.
let's just. Okay.
I feel like once IOI started to threaten their lives, that they should have just start working together, and because it's five times
entirely,
more.
or
It's 5 minds working together, and they could have find all the keys 5 times more faster and just split all the money and did whatever they wanted to do with it, because it's like over $1 trillion or whatever. So, and the whole world's money is going towards that game, so like they'll continue to get the money and run the Oasis, and they love it, so they'll do it right and make it fair for everyone.
so you think they'd buy out the Oasis?
I feel like
They're
she
gonna
would.
get the Oasis
Yeah,
if
so-
they win.
But I don't think.
Because
They
if
get to
Split
control
rights.
it.
if all 5 of them get the gate, the keys to open the gates, and win, I feel like they would buy out the Oasis gate only just to get it out the IOI hands.
Well, after they win the egg, they don't necessarily not like depending on who wins. There's not necessarily going to be a lot of money put back into the Oasis, because the people that are in the Oasis, like the Gunters and stuff like that, they're all trying to find the egg as well.
No.
So they're spending money on like gear, like that's why there's all those clans. So all those clans are spending money to find the egg. But if they find the egg before those clans do, then those clans won't be putting all that money back into the egg because there's no point.
So I do have one thing to say. What do you think would have happened if Wade did take the deal from Nolan Sorrento? If Wade
First
took
one, the second
deal,
one, or the third one?
all of them. If he took the entire deal from Nolan Sorrento, even the ones that he suggested, if he took all of that, what do you think would be? What do you think Wade would do with
I
the
think
company?
that after, like, if he would have took it, that he would help them find it, and after he had helped them find it, they would have killed him.
Yeah, because he did want to take Sorrento's position.
Yeah, he did make that very clear
And
when he
so-
was arrogant.
Yeah, he's very arrogant.
Yes, but Nolan Sorrento's bosses did agree with that. They were
doesn't
going to
necessarily
violate.
mean that they would kill
Because
Wade.
it's still the IOI. They're still their little connection system is still based on we want this egg, we want all the money, and whoever's gonna get it for us won't be able to see it.
So if Wade did run IOI, how would he run the Sixers?
I feel like that he. Well, that's all the time we have, folks.
What is the state of the world in this story, and can the real world become this?
The state of the world is destroyed. It's apocalypse right now. There's very limited resources for power, water, food.
Everything's very expensive too.
Yeah, everything, like the taxes have went up. And I feel like, yeah, this could happen potentially in the real world. I don't think 2044, but probably later on. But yeah, I think this could potentially happen in the real world, because we don't know that we do, but we do use quite a lot of resources. We do use a lot of water, we do use a lot of food, we use a lot of gas and things that we don't know that we use so much of, but it really hurts.
We take
the
things for
world.
granted.
Yeah.
And on top of that, like with the competition and everything, you know how like they compete to get the egg first. In the world now, like everybody competes with each other to be the best of the best. Like it doesn't matter what it is, everyone knows that. Everybody competes with everybody, and it's just like when somebody knows somebody's doing good, they won't acknowledge it. Like you won't see that a lot. There's certain people that do, but not often. Everybody's always bringing people down, and like he said, like a lot of stuff gets used and everything. So I could see it happening.
Very true.
Especially with food and stuff, like nowadays we could go shopping every month and fill our fridge and cabinets up, and a lot of this stuff goes to waste and gets rotten or whatever, and there's like people out there that have no food, they barely have anything to eat.
I plead guilty to eating way too much food.
I eat way too much food.
I sit
Yep.
in my room and just chill with food in my hands hours on day. Okay?
Factual.
Just like when,
So I know, yes, I do use a little bit too much food.
like when Trump did that shutdown, like he didn't care about everybody else. He cared about himself only and getting that wall. Like he didn't care about the people that didn't have food or the people that he was taking the money and stuff from. He just cared about himself and what he wanted. So I could see that potential.
The panel did a fantastic job discussing the book, didn't they? That's it for today's English Minute. I'm Bernie Arroyo. Thanks for watching.